for tubers in Clear Creek Canyon. What we're learning about a swift water rescue this morning.
An increase in inventory. The good news for Metro home buyers looking for their next place in the summer housing market.
And could the CU Buffs be on the move? Where sports teams could end up playing after a shakeup in the Pac-12, which could send CU back to their old stomping grounds. We'll see. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. It's a cooler, little bit cloudier start to the day, and Katie is tracking when some storms could hit.
Good morning, you guys. It has been a bit unsettled this morning here across the state. More cloud cover here over the metro area and some wet weather moving through portions of Colorado's high country overnight. Right now you can see Rocky Mountain National Park starting to see some of those clouds clear, but still dealing with some light to moderate rainfall up north and east near New Raymer, Fort Morgan. An isolated thunderstorm near Akron at this hour, but stronger thunderstorms are set to develop later on this afternoon. A little bit of clearing through mid-morning, so more sunshine into midday here in Denver. Temperatures this afternoon will be cooler in the low to mid 80s. Stronger thunderstorms really over the northeastern corner of Colorado for today. This storm outlook and the risk of severe weather upgraded from marginal to slight, so it is going to be the possibility of seeing some severe storms later on today over the northeastern plains that have the potential of producing some pockets of heavy rain, damaging winds, and even large hail over the far northeastern corner of Colorado. We will keep you posted through the day. Jason.
Yeah, we could see obviously some travel trouble spots with that, and we can also see, damage to life, limb, and property. We do right now have property damage crash on that westbound side of Highway 36 right here at Church Ranch. That's why you're seeing all this red coming in from Sheridan and back to about the 80th Avenue Bridge. Take a look from the camera over there. Now they moved the crash that was sitting over here in the left lane to just on the left shoulder, just right next to the express lane, but it's still going to keep traffic fairly slow. But all three travel lanes are open right now, and once you pass it, it's wide open. But before you get to that point, coming from I-25, you can see on the travel times right now, you're looking at about 20-25 minutes. So it's really tight, slow, and going traffic in there, and then wide open the rest of the ride to Broomfield and Boulder. The rest of the drive around town looks pretty good. That's the only problem spot really citywide on or off the highways. Really nothing else of note to tell you about right now.
Well, people trying to cool off in a rushing creek had to be rescued yesterday. Just take a look at this video. It shows how fast the water is running right now in Clear Creek, just a few minutes west of Golden. Air Tracker 7 flew over the scene and saw first responders with their swift water rescue gear. 2 people are now in the hospital this morning, and Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us with some new details about the 4 people who had to be pulled to safety.
Yeah, a very scary situation. It happened just minutes upstream from where we're standing in Clear Creek this morning. 4 people thrown off their tubes, and this is all in an area where tubing isn't even allowed. And as you mentioned, video from Air Tracker 7 shows those moments when that rescue happened yesterday. A man was pulled out of the water and he was unconscious. He was rushed to the hospital. A woman was also found clinging to a rock in the river, and crews were able to pull her out and also take her to get medical attention. 2 other men in the group were able to get out of the water on their own. But again, tubing is not allowed in that part of the creek right now, and that order is clearly posted. If you do come out here, only tube in areas where it's allowed, and right now you should use the north side of the Clear Creek Corridor Trail. And because those conditions of the water change so quickly, it is important to wear those life jackets. The water in Clear Creek is actually so high right now that Golden says it's too dangerous for anyone who is under the age of 18. And guys, this all happened in the same area where a woman was actually killed while tubing on Saturday. Live in Golden this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. We do have a tragic update this morning. A 7th person has died after the mass shooting at a 4th of July parade outside Chicago. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more.
This morning, a little boy left orphaned after a gunman opened fire at that 4th of July parade.
The boy was saying, "Mommy, Daddy, Mommy, Daddy."
Survivors Dana and Gregory Ring telling ABC News about the moment another parade goer handed them 2-year-old Aiden McCarthy. In the chaos of the aftermath, Aiden's mother and father nowhere in sight.
Every time I tried to ask him what his name was, the response he gave to me in return was, "Mama, Dada, come get me soon. Mommy's car come to get me soon."
The couple taking Aiden to a nearby fire station.
When we pulled in, the cops looked like they were getting ready for war. I'll never forget, I pulled up and I said, "This is not our kid. It's not his blood. He's okay. What should we do?" And a cop said, "We can't be babysitters now. Can you take care of him?" We said, "Of course." And then 2-3 hours later, a detective who had our number called, and then he took the little boy to where families were being reunited, and then he told me he was eventually reunited with his grandparents.
This morning, we now know the toddler's parents, Arena and Kevin, seen in this picture from a GoFundMe post, were among those killed. And 5 more families grieving their loved ones. Nicholas Toledo was 78 years old, a grandfather and a father of 8. He was a dual citizen of the U.S. and Mexico. His grandson telling us he spent his last days swimming, fishing, and being among family. And Jackie Sunheim, a wife and a mother, also killed 64-year-old Catherine Goldstein and 88-year-old Stephen Strauss. Strauss's family telling the New York Times he still took the train to Chicago every day to his job as a financial advisor. And back to that little boy who lost his parents in the shooting. The city manager says he has been reunited with his grandparents. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Highland Park, Illinois.
We are also learning disturbing new information about the suspect. Many are now asking how a man with multiple police encounters in his past legally bought guns. Officials say Robert Crimo planned the attack for weeks and wore women's clothing after the shooting to blend in as he escaped in the crowd. He passed 4 background checks before he bought the rifle used in the attack, and he had several run-ins with police back in 2019, first when he attempted suicide, and then later when a family member said he threatened to kill everyone in his home. Despite that, though, Illinois red flag laws did not prevent him from having weapons. Summer is here. It's a popular time to move, and it is tough right now to find a new home or apartment in Denver.
Yeah, and it's not getting much easier. This morning, we're taking a 360 in-depth look, breaking down a brand new report about home prices and inventory in the metro. We're also doing the math to show you how rising interest rates are impacting your buying power.
Plus, how Denver's rent stacks up against other Colorado cities and the country, and one agency helping people who can't afford to live here. Also, if you're moving, we have advice from experts before you hire a moving company to pack up your stuff. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta kicks off our coverage with the latest housing report for the Denver Metro.
Like every month, there is some good news and some bad news if you're trying to buy a home in Denver. The good news is that there are more homes on the market. That has just skyrocketed. The not so good news is so has the average price of a home. That's running about $810,000 right now. Condos and townhomes are averaging a little more than $500,000. And when it comes to inventory, there were twice as many listings at the end of June this year compared to last year, more than 6,000. And just as there are homes available, buyers are feeling the impacts of our slowed economy. Experts say many first-time home buyers who were initially pre-approved toward the beginning of the year with a specific interest rate, they decided to wait until buying wasn't so competitive. But now that they've restarted their search for a home, they're running into issues with affordability.
Things are obviously changing pretty quickly, and I think we'll continue to see more inventory, prices slowing, higher days in the MLS, and more adjustments with that.
So if you're wondering what's next, Abrams says he only expects that inventory of houses to continue increasing as we get toward the end of the year. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
And we did the math to show you the impact interest rate increases are having on your monthly mortgage payment. In January, a 30-year mortgage from Freddie Mac was 3.22%. So for a $700,000 loan, your monthly payment would have been about $3,000, not including taxes, fees, or insurance. Last week, a 30-year on a loan was about 5.7%. So that same $700,000 loan will now cost you more than $4,000 a month. And to get that $3,000 a month mortgage, you would have to find a house for $525,000. That shows you how much your buying power has dropped in just 6 months because of those interest rate increases.
If you've ever wondered what it's like inside one of Denver's safe outdoor space villages, you can find out today. The Tent Village at Regis University is moving to land at 2nd and Federal, and because it's a new location, the St. Francis Center is hosting an open house about it this afternoon.
We thought it was important for our neighbors, our new neighbors there, to come and see what a safe outdoor site is all about. They can do that before the residents move in on Thursday.
The Safe Outdoor Space Open House is from 4 to 7 tonight at the location at 2nd and Federal. The St. Francis Center says it helped 27 people from the Regis University site get into more stable housing.
Team sports at CU Boulder could be changing with the future of the Pac-12 conference in question. Right now, CU leaders are considering their options. The Board of Regents held a special behind closed doors meeting last night. The only item on the agenda was legal advice on a specific matter, Pac-12 athletics update. This all started last week when USC and UCLA accepted invitations to join the Big Ten starting in 2024. If CU leaves the Pac-12 for another conference, one option could be the Big 12. According to reports, CU is one of several schools the conference is interested in adding.
Veteran Avalanche center Andrew Cogliano is coming back to the team. Let's win another one. He signed a one-year contract extension, reportedly worth $1.25 million. He became the 18th player in NHL history to win their first Stanley Cup after appearing in 1,000 career games. Well, while they're enjoying their victory tour with the Stanley Cup in hand, it will be a short offseason for the Avs. Tuesday, the team released the preseason schedule. The Avs will play 6 games, including 3 at Ball Arena. The preseason starts at the end of September.
After more than 4 months, the Russian war in Ukraine is on a brief pause, but it doesn't signal an end of Russia's effort to seize more territory. Plus, shoppers and scammers are getting ready for Amazon Prime Day next week. How to make sure you get what you pay for.